Julia, tell us more about Putin's address.
Well, the real headline from Vladimir Putin's first address to the Russian people since the outbreak of the coronavirus began was that next week the entire country, apart from those working in essential services, will effectively have a week of holiday. That was the measure that he announced in order to try to stem the spread of coronavirus in Russia. As you say, the number has now climbed above 600. Most of those cases are in Moscow, so the capital has seen more stringent measures. But now President Putin is giving the entire country of Russia a week off, and that will be paid by the government. But there are concerns here, of course, that if everybody has a week off, whereas social distancing is not being practiced very widely in Russia and people have not been ordered to stay at home, although President Putin did say they should, that simply people won't go about, they'll just continue going about their lives otherwise. They'll continue to socialize, they'll continue to go to restaurants, and they could come into contact with one another even more often than they do when they are going to work. But of course, the idea is to stop the spread of people going on public transport in their offices. But President Putin also announced that referendum on constitutional amendments that was to be held in April will be pushed back indefinitely, and he said that was because they've come under a lot of pressure to postpone that, and it seems untenable now because of the spread of the virus. This is what President Putin had to say about that.
The absolute priority for us is the health, lives and safety of people. Therefore, I believe the voting must be postponed to a later date. Let us evaluate how the situation will develop in the regions and in the whole country. And only relying on professional opinion, recommendations of doctors, specialists, will decide on a new voting day.
Well, the government has been very reluctant to postpone this vote. It's a very crucial one for President Putin himself, because among the amendments that the Russian people are due to be voting on is one that would reset his presidential terms, and that would allow him to run for 2 more terms. Another 12 years would see him ruling Russia until 2036.
So, Julia, how important are these decisions, and any reactions from the public so far to them?
Well, so far the public have not really been that aware widely of what's going on with coronavirus. People are carrying out their daily lives almost unchanged. The biggest differences we have seen here in Russia, particularly in the capital, are that schools have been closed, and now gyms have been closed, as well as cinemas. The authorities are trying to stop people from gathering in big places, but on the whole, traffic in the streets is still very busy. There are still people going to work. On the whole, there are some companies that have told employees to work from home, but there hasn't really been much social distancing going on in Russia. People simply aren't staying home like we're seeing in other countries. So whether or not these measures that encouragement to stay at home will actually get through to the Russian people, we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you very much, Julia Chapman in Moscow.